I've just done an episode about one battle after another, which I'll link to at the end of this video, and its examination of movies that tell you how to feel versus movies that don't raised a whole other question that we're going to explore here, which is character likability and how much it matters. Okay, so that title is a bit of a spoiler, but keep watching so I can elaborate.
I drink your milkshake. I drink it up!
Don't bully me, Daniel!
Paul Thomas Anderson, the writer-director of One Battle After Another, is kinda low-key legendary at this point for creating unlikable, obtuse, often insufferable characters. From Daniel Plainview and Eli Sunday in There Will Be Blood, to Freddie Quell in The Master, to Reynolds Woodcock in Phantom Thread, to the entire cast of Magnolia. Yes, okay, I'm jumping over a bunch of charming characters in pictures like Licorice Pizza and Inherent Vice and others, but even those guys often confuse or challenge the audience because PTA is not interested in rounding the corners off them. He is not interested in your approval. But another, perhaps better way to put it is his characters are not interested in your approval.
Take it out, please.
Yes, I can take it out.
It's a bit late now, isn't it?
I'm taking it out.
Yeah, but it's a bit late now, isn't it?
But I'm taking it out.
The tea is going out. The interruption is staying right here with me.
I think now's a good time to talk about likable. If you are a writer who has ever delivered a script for someone else, a producer, a streamer, a charlatan, whatever, at some point in your journey of 1,000 cuts, you will likely have been given the horrendous, soul-crushing note, can we make this character more likable? Of course, another way to say this is we need the audience to approve of this character. Likability has become the knotweed of behind-the-scenes story development, and a big reason why so few movies are good these days. If you don't know, knotweed is an invasive, hard-to-kill weed that spreads like a disease, suffocating all the healthy growth around it. But believe it or not, it was introduced with good intentions, originally valued for its ornamental qualities. You see, to the tin ear of the bad creative, it is assumed that if your character is more likable, appropriate, the story will somehow instantly be more compelling, or emotional, or satisfying, or something. The bad creative thinks that likability is the only way an audience will root for a character on screen. And like all funky inherited producer folklore, this is only a bit true, because there are all kinds of ways the audience can engage with the character. Let's break down some of the more nuanced ways, starting with the granddaddy, likability. Liking is having a positive disposition towards the character or situation. You find them agreeable, interesting, attractive. It can be near or abstract. You might like a character you don't relate to at all. Liking doesn't require deep emotional engagement. For instance, you might like a villain because they're well written or charismatic. Liking is about pleasure, not necessarily understanding. Compare this to empathy. Empathizing is feeling as the character feels, entering their emotional state from within. You simulate their experience internally through imaginative identification. You watch a character panic as their submerged car fills with water and your body tenses. You feel their fear, but neither approval nor disapproval is implied. You can empathize with someone you can't stand. Empathy collapses the boundary between you and them, at least momentarily. You feel their feelings in your own nervous system. Sympathizing, by contrast, is feeling for a character. Pity, compassion, concern. It's emotional alignment from a distance. You recognize their suffering or joy and respond emotionally, but without merging. You remain yourself, observing their situation. It's usually benevolent and implies care, like you see someone grieving and you feel sadness, but it's on their behalf rather than as them. Then there's identifying. Identifying with or relating to a character is recognizing yourself in them, finding your experience in their experience. You perceive shared circumstances, motives, or vulnerabilities. It's neither merging nor pity, but a parallel recognition. You relate to a character's insecurity, for instance, because you've felt it too, but it's a shared pattern, not a shared feeling. To relate is to map their story onto your own without confusing the two. Compare this to understanding. Understanding is cognitively grasping a character's motives or logic. It's detached. You can understand without liking or sympathizing or even relating. It's neutral, even clinical, like you understand why a bad guy becomes paranoid, but you feel no sympathy. Understanding is about coherence, not feeling. It's cognitive mirroring, not emotional mirroring. All are effective to the level of the effectiveness of the storyteller.
That's bone. And the lettering is something called Cillian Braille.
Take Paul Thomas Anderson. At various points in one battle after another, PTA is doing all of the above, sometimes lurching from one to another for the same character, sometimes within the same scene or even moment, as is befitting this gumbo of a film. He is going with who the characters are, not to have them do what is appropriate for him or for the audience or society or even for the story, but just what is in their nature. Of course, you can't just make a character not likable and hope to carry the audience along. You still must make them compelling or interesting or fascinating or curious in combination with one or some of those other traits we talked about. But likability on its own is not a universal cure for character or story. In The Talented Mr Ripley, the multifaceted Tom Ripley is all five and then some. Here he is likable, speed learning a subject with setbacks and mini victories like the rest of us, and finally succeeding. Here we relate to him as a newbie out of his depth in a new social environment, identifying with it even as we watch it safely from a distance without being triggered by it. Here he is making us empathize with secondhand mortification, getting caught doing something intensely private and embarrassing. And here he is compelling us to sympathize with him as Dickie casually drops him as a friend, and all the previous enthusiasm for him drains away. Finally, we understand him even if we don't relate to him or approve of him as he picks up an oar and takes it to Dickie. And as a bonus, here, incredibly, we are worried he might be found out by Bully Freddy despite knowing what we do about him. This is a murdering identity thief, and damn it if we don't feel anxious he could be caught. You can't tell me this character is likable, but you absolutely like watching him. This curse, this plague on character development, let's call it the likening, needs to be stopped. Sometimes it is necessary. Romantic comedies, I'm leaving you out of this. Although, okay, romantic comedies, you're back in this. But lack of likability on its own is not a real actual problem, so let's stop acting like it is. Life and story and people and characters are simply more nuanced than that. Writers know this instinctively, and many talented producers do too. But the, shall we say, less experienced script note givers amongst us, I'm calling on you. When you feel this phrase forming in your throat, don't say it. Just don't say it. That's all. Just that. One little thing. It might be that there is indeed a problem with the character, and your instinct may well be right, but look for another way to solve it, maybe. What is the actual real story problem here? Because I can almost guarantee it's got nothing to do with this. And to the writers out there who already know this, but who might feel afraid to say it out loud and say it proud, it's not always easy, but let's push back when we can. Because remember,
we've got a better chance of survival if we work together. Do you understand? If we stay together, we survive.
Pleased to bring you the Legionnaires of Scipio Africana!